Hello, people. It is the King of Anime podcast. New month, new us. It is I, Sasuke the Savage, joined with my co-host, Everything Animated, who is currently having technical issues. So I'll kind of do things a little solo to start things off. What is good, Sean? What's good with you? And before we start anything, remember to like, subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. That's going to help with the algorithm so people can see these see these live streams and hopefully catch the VOD. But I think I'm gonna just BS a little bit until EA gets his thing situated, gets his stuff right. So I guess the first thing I kind of thought was interesting that's going on in the anime world. So I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but apparently the author of ReZero to Pay and this other guy, I forgot what his name was, but he's the same guy that worked on, or I guess both of them worked on Vivi, the Wit Studio anime that came out maybe a year or two ago. They're supposed to have a new anime that's coming out in 2024, and it's some Suicide Squad isekai thing. I don't know about it. I mean, they showed some character designs. They had a trailer out for it. Honestly, I'm not too high on that duo. Some people are kind of excited just because it's to pay, and like being the author of ReZero gives you a lot of clout. But again, they collab to make Vivi, and it looked good, but I don't really know if I would say that's going to give me faith for this new Suicide Isekai thing. But yeah, the character designs and trailers and all of that is out. Hold on, EA, because now it doesn't make that sound, so they couldn't hear that. But hold on, okay, now they can hear you.
Hello, everybody. It is your pal EA. I am not an imposter.
Who is this man? What have you done with EA?
What are you talking about, Susakis? It is me, EA.
Sound like you sound like a old. You sound like you're going to old aristocrat or something. Like
oh no! I am your friend. It is me, EA Vase.
Are you sure you aren't going to try to harvest my organs when I'm not looking?
No.
Why do you got that scalpel in your hand?
I used to pick teeth.
That's believable. Okay. Why is there blood on your clothes though?
That's marinara. I had pizza. That's why I picked teeth with the pizza.
What kind of pizza?
Little Caesars.
Yeah, yeah, you're an imposter. You're an imposter. You've been had.
Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, guys. It's me. I don't know who that guy was.
Welcome back. But I don't know if you've been hearing me talk about the isekai thing, but yeah, that's the thing. Suicide Squad isekai.
I saw that. And all I could say to that is I know nothing about what they're even planning on doing when it comes to that, but you know what? I do love me some Harley Quinn and Joker. So, I mean, I am a little curious. Like, I don't know, what's it going to be about? Are they going to get isekai'd into another realm? Like, it's actually going to be Harley Quinn and Joker?
I have no idea.
If that's the case, that would be hilarious.
I haven't even checked out the actual trailer. I just seen the character designs going on and the announcement of it existed in the first place. So I don't know what exactly is going to go into it. As far as like what's the actual synopsis, I just know Suicide Squad, isekai, the authors involved in it and whatnot. I mean, who knows if we'll watch it come the time for us to make a decision on what we're going to watch in that respective season, because I don't know what season they'll fall in. Who knows if we'll watch it. I'm not going to look forward to it, honestly. Like I said, that collab that they gave us, of those two writers, gave us Vivi, and yeah,
that's a good point.
QRW6 in the chat said, "What up, KOA? ICC is uploading some recap videos, so I hope is hinting his grand return. I mean, he's still dead. Dead people usually don't come back to life, so take what you will of that. I'm not sure, but I mean, you can always tune in every week. We stood. Are you saying we're not enough for you, QRW6?
He's like, bring C back. We're sick of this 2-man show.
Yeah, I think we're good looking, and we can, we got our own techniques and things that we can do to satisfy the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need C anymore.
In fact, see who?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. What if I could see tactics?
All I know is he's not very tactful.
Mm-hmm. But you can see the lineup. We're going to talk about Oshi no Ko tonight, as well as Insomniacs at the school. It didn't fall into the KOA Awards, but if you're familiar with the podcast and specifically the awards, we're going to do things a little different since it's just me and EA. With the awards, with us having 3 members, we could give our opinions or give our nominations and actually crown a winner of the respective category. But since it's just 2 of us and we don't really have a third party to act in case of a tiebreaker or in case we just have different answers, we'll just talk about our nominations and why we nominated the anime in the first place.
We're just gonna have to fight this year.
We're just fight to the death. That's how we decided.
Yep. Then there'll be one less host.
It'll just be one category that we talk about. We can only do that one time, unless you have something that you're not telling me, like you're like Hercules or something. Like you have multiple lives.
Could you just imagine? Just the very first thing we talk about, the best MILF Awards.
No, it's Aqua's mom.
Does she have a mom?
Aqua's mom? Oh, I wasn't talking about that Aqua. I was talking about. See, yeah, that's the issue about it. See, I'm with you, EA. The real Aqua is Konosuba Aqua, but
that's right.
Since we're talking about Oshi no Ko tonight, Aqua from that guy. Yeah, that guy, Blondie. We got to give him a new name instead of Aqua because it's a little. I know his full name is Aquamarine, but who's gonna say that?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Twinkle, twinkle, little marine. I don't know. That's a terrible name.
I don't know why. It's a bad name. I think that's maybe the worst thing that she's done.
You know what it is? She was a celebrity, and celebrities give their kids the worst names.
Yeah. I think Travis Scott wanted to name their daughter or their kid like Wolf or something.
Yeah.
Wolf.
I would not be surprised if one of the kids, and I'm talking about any celebrity, one of them's named like Sincere or Gun or Expression. You know, just weird names. I'll never forget Apple. When I heard Apple, I think it was Gwyneth Paltrow and the guy from Coldplay. They had their kid. Her name's Apple. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What? Yeah, it's always got to be some larger than life, super unique name, and it's not. It usually it's not even unique. It's just weird, just plain weird.
Like justification,
objection.
Right. I could see someone be naming their kid Objection. It's just so ridiculous.
QRW6 said, but without C, my boys can't get drunk. Honestly, it wouldn't have happened just on my side because I am broke. But I mean, I feel like I could do it a little tipsy, but of course I wouldn't be as drunk as I have been on podcasts. But sober Sasuke, it is what it is.
Could you imagine any of us trying to operate the show when we're both drunk? We're just like, what's the next category? It's what?
Yeah. Well, this happened in the show, and yeah, man, I don't like the cut of your jib, EA.
We get mad at each other and then we start crying a minute going, dude, I'm sorry. I love you, man. I don't know what I was saying. You know, I just came off aggressive and I just want you to know I love you.
This is going to be a hug out podcast. Light said I was 16 when she came up with the name. That's true enough. But I just to be transparent with this, I've thought about what I would name my kid. I still don't have a kid, but I thought about what I would name my kid even at that age, and I still didn't think of a name like that. Now I'll be completely honest. I've thought about some names that I've seen in anime that I thought that might be cool, but they were still names that were somewhat normal, at least in my American view, because I'm sure like Japanese names will be normal to Japanese people, but not, you know, I'm not going to name my kid Tachibana or something like that.
Could you imagine? It's like, oh, what? Where's she from? Oh, she's from here.
Yeah. She's never been to Japan, not once.
People just give you a weird side eye.
I mean, to be fair, we've had
all right.
Like all of our names are probably their origin is some far off place. Like my name, my real name is Greek. So
yeah, I don't know what my real name is. I mean, let me rephrase that.
Are you hiding from Light Yagami or something? Who are you? I don't even know my name.
No, what I meant was I don't know like what my origin of my real name is. I want to say it's French, but you know what? I'm gonna find out right now.
Oh yeah, you can probably check Urban Dictionary or something like that, or I guess your name and an origin and something will pop up. What are the origin of you guys' names? You don't have to actually say your name, just where, like what country did it come from? It's an interesting thing because I looked up the meaning of my name and I kind of like it. I'm not going to tell you guys, but I like it. But yeah, if you're not familiar with the show in totality, even though this won't have any bearing on tonight, this is the King of Anime podcast in which we watch shows from the respective season that we're in, and we kill or pass after we get a good sample size of them. Most of the time being 3 episodes. We make the decision to kill or pass it. Kill meaning we never watch it again. Pass means that it will live to see another maybe 3 episodes or so. And that's basically the format of the show. Now I will be kind of hyping things up because we're making some changes to the podcast as far as the look,
say what?
A little bit of the format, you know.
When did this happen?
Yeah, we put our heads together, talked to the higher ups, and yeah, there's going to be some changes to the podcast. So I'm excited for it. I'm sure C from C's Hell
Ghost is excited.
Yeah, C from Hell is excited from it. And I'm sure EA is excited about it.
Yes. And I found out my name is origins. It's Hebrew.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
But yeah, so that's the thing to look forward to. The podcast won't look the same come a week or maybe even 2 weeks from now. So yeah, things to look forward to. But tonight, we'll talk about the 2 shows first. That being Oshi no Ko, but we're both in the finale of both of these shows. So this is the end of the spring season as we know it. So up first, Oshi no Ko episode 11. General opinions, EA, on Oshi no Ko episode 11.
So when it comes to Oshi no Ko, we made our predictions last week where we were saying it'd be interesting to see if they were like stumbling and fumbling and how the crowd would react to whatever. We didn't get that. Instead, we got Aqua totally stroking out to some lights and I was just like, okay, so this is gonna just further the whole love triangle quadruple blah 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 blah. Blah. So, uh, oh, it's been announced that there's a season 2 of this show.
True.
So there's some light applause there for everyone. Yeah. So
Yeah, we were discussing on whether or not it would get a season 2, and I was saying I wouldn't be surprised either way, just because I've seen shows that are mega popular that didn't get season 2s, and I've seen it to where it happens right after it ends. I'm kind of surprised at how some of these shows are getting season 2s as quick as they are. Like Insomniacs surprised me a lot. Ocean didn't surprise me, like I said, but it's just that it's been a lot of season 2s announced after, or I guess new seasons in general that have been announced right after the show ends. I guess what surprises me is that it's most of the shows that we watch, like Konosuba, Oshi, Insomniacs After School, like, you know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really cool how animes are getting second seasons more nowadays. I feel like there was a point in time where if you had a favorite show, it was a 50-50 chance, more like a 70-30 chance, that your show would never even come back, and you just go, well, that was fun. Now I can just imagine what the second season would look like.
So do you think this is a trend that we can expect more new seasons to come out? Grant, or of course, given that the show is good enough to warrant a season 2.
Uh, I don't know if it warrants shows that are good enough. Look at Rent a Girlfriend. It has 3 fucking seasons and it's
Well,
terrible.
I meant more so the popularity than the quality, because
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Um, I think so. I think we're already seeing that where there's a lot more shows that are just getting season 2s merely based off the popularity. And the shows, like, the seasons aren't even over yet, and they're announcing season 2s before they even end, which is even more crazy to me. So, yeah, I'm super excited to see just anime in general growing with popularity, and they're having the ability to make more seasons, because boy would I have loved to have seen more seasons of shows I fell in love with. But maybe if it was a different time, maybe if they came out now as opposed to a decade, 15 years ago, maybe they would have been renewed. But you know, you never know.
I'm actually surprised that, like you said, how quickly these seasons are being announced. Just because the one thing that was, because anime are in large part an advertisement for manga sales to be boosted. We'll see
Hmm.
an event that a series does get an anime, even if the anime isn't that great. Sometimes it even works in its favor. If it's not great, it brings people to the manga to read what happened there. So I'm actually surprised that the new seasons are being announced so quickly, just because if you have people wait on it a little bit, it will drive them to the manga more quickly than if you just announce it, because then people will, or some people, not all people, but some people will just sit on it and go, I'll just wait for the next season of the anime. I'll just stay at anime only.
I mean, it could work in that favor only because it takes a while for these things to get made. It's not like something that will happen in a year's time, unless, I don't know, it depends on the studio. Sometimes these things can take 5 years, so maybe that could drive people to the manga.
Hmm. Yeah, very. It's also the thing too of the people that were going to read the manga were probably going to read it regardless on if this new season was going to come out. So yeah, there's also that. But going back to Oshi no Ko, Light said something in the chat. The season finale for Oshi no Ko didn't feel like a finale. It feels like we're getting another episode next week. And this kind of ties into what I want to say about this episode, or it weirdly ties in with Insomniacs After School, because me reading a manga for Insomniacs After School, the finale that we got was a little different than what happened in the manga, and I'll talk more about that once we get to that show. But I think the anime did a great job because they made that last episode feel like a conclusive finale. Not conclusive in that you got everything from the story and you don't need anything else. Conclusive in the fact that you feel satisfied with the season, and you're prepared to wait for the season 2. You know, it didn't leave you on a major cliffhanger like, let's say, Attack on Titan season 1 or something like that. It felt very finite in some sense. But with Oshi no Ko, I would have to agree with Light. This finale just felt lackluster, in my opinion. I think the place they should have, okay, so let me backtrack a little, because the actual them singing, them performing, I was underwhelmed with it. I thought that would be a much more bombastic and exciting moment that happened, and it was like 7 minutes or so of the episode, and the only like great moment that we got out of it was Ruby, I guess, invoking the ghost of I, and hitting her moves. And
yeah, that one otaku was like, she reminds me of somebody. I really like them.
Yeah. Because we had like an actual fan in there, which I don't know how old he was when he first went to one of our concerts, but
he was like 12.
It's kind of weird to me that somebody would even think that, oh, this person sounds like this person 16 years later. It's like me. What's the comparison I can bring? Well, this is not a great comparison, but that's like me looking at a current rapper and going like, yeah, they're like Tupac. What? It's odd to me. But I guess that's just the impact that she had on the idol industry. Because we got to remember, these are idol aficionados, so I'm pretty sure I is put on the pedestal. But yeah, I was actually shocked that performance not being the highlight of the episode, other than the Ruby moment. Because Kana had her moment of, and I don't like it because I don't like these type of characters, but she was having her moment of insecurity because everybody had their yellow lights and their red lights up for Ruby and Meme-chan, but nobody had their white lights up for her, so she's feeling down and she's like, nobody likes me. No, if somebody even praised me once, I would have worked my hardest. And then of course Aqua comes in there and does his thing, and that's to further push that relationship, but that gives her confidence to keep on performing and do her best and yada 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 yada. I'm surprised. I'm just surprised it wasn't a bigger moment.
I agree. Let's not forget the fact that she pointed right at him and it's like, I'm gonna make you love me. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
You're not feeling the love, EA?
No. You know what I'm feeling? Sick to my stomach.
Okay. I thought you were gonna get the shotgun.
Okay. No, she's not shotgun worthy. She's just annoying.
Okay. Light says
when someone is shotgun worthy, you'll know.
Oh. Hide your kids. Which color glow stick would you get? I'm getting the white Kana sticks. We know your love of Kana, Light Ruler. Honestly, if I were in that crowd, I would be more of a fan of Ruby. I felt like Ruby stole the show. I mean, she was emceeing at one point, so I would have felt that she was the leader.
She was very natural. I'm surprised she's not the leader, to be honest.
Yeah. So if I was just in the crowd, I would have been a fan of Ruby. And me outside looking in, I would still be a fan of Ruby, knowing what I know. She's she has a spark to her character, very energetic that I like. I don't think those with Meme Chan. I like all the characters. It's just with Meme Chan, I don't get enough of her for me to like her over any of the other two. And with Kana, I just don't like that nobody loves me. Whoa, it's me type of personality. And I understand where it comes
Everyone
from.
hates me. I wish I was popular.
You turned into the donkey from Winnie and the Pooh.
Oh yeah, Eeyore. I was thinking more droopy, but I guess they kind of sound similar. But yeah. Hi guys. It's your pal Bikomachi. We're gonna sing a song.
We should talk like that for future videos just to get all the revenue we can.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is the way I talk.
Let's talk about Aqua and how great she is. Bless thee, art thou Aqua.
QRW6 said Ruby for me. Yeah, I'm a fan of Ruby. Yeah, no issues with the Ruby. Kana, I have my issues with her. I expect her to get better, but she didn't help her case in this episode because she does the whole tsundere thing, and
I'm going to win your heart.
Yeah. So that was a thing that was pushed in the episode. So Akane and Kana are rivals, and I already knew of this just because of there being Oshinoko manga readers on my server, and they're always having their beef. It's always the Kana versus Akane fans. But we learned in this episode that they had this actual rivalry, them being childhood actors, and apparently Kana, because she was a prodigy back when she was a child, was taking all of the roles that Akane wanted. So they got beef, and they're going to settle it with this new I forgot the actual name of the thing that they're doing, but they got a new stage in which they can perform where Akane is going to be the lead. And
are they doing a live action anime or something?
Yeah, some live action thing based on the anime, some stage play thingy, and they set it up to further the love triangle thing because Akane is the main heroine, Aqua is the love interest, and Akane is also a possible love interest for Aqua, or Aqua's character, I should say. So
because of course they are.
I just don't look forward to that. Of course, we had to wait to season 2 for it, but they did not get me hyped for this new arc. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, we went from talking about the dark side of Hollywood and entertainment and media and stuff to a really crazy twist with the deaths and all that other stuff to now love triangle, hooray!
Yeah.
Can we not and just say we did?
And this, I've been really consistent with this. I just don't like the romance aspect of the show. That's why I'm not too hyped whenever we do the whole thing, the whole bit of Kana being jealous of whatever Akane and Aqua got going on, because I truly don't know exactly what they got going on. Of course, Aqua wants to use Akane, but I mean, he was already kind of transparent with her, so I don't know why he still continues to do some of the things he does with her. But I guess they gotta play up them being a couple for social media, because that's going to benefit them.
I can already tell you what's going to happen with Akane's character. She's already kind of doing it. She's gonna be in love with him, and then he's gonna be like, you know, this was just for show, right? And she's gonna go, I thought you loved me. And then it's like, no, obviously not. Well, then I'm just gonna run away crying, and then that's gonna be the end of their relationship, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna hate it. The end.
Uh, well, yeah, they're doing a whole fake. We've probably seen this before, like the fake lovers to real lovers type of thing going on. Like we'll be pretend couples, and then whoa, we actually have feelings for each other. It's happened a lot of times, so that's a common
Oh,
thing.
there's that too. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. You mean I actually get a boner because I like you?
Whoa.
I didn't know that.
QRW
Come back
six
into my life, Akane.
QRW6 says Kana to me is like the lead to NSYNC, while Ruby is the Justin Timberlake just Justin Timberlake. Uh and then Light says Kana out of her depression state till she found out the relationship is fake. Yeah, she was a
Oh
lot more
yeah.
cheerful about that because in props to Aqua and Ruby's mom. I'm gonna always call her their mom. Of course, their biological mom is I, but she's their adoptive mom. But yeah, props to her just being perceptive of the air around the room because she knew of Kana's feelings for Aqua, so she dropped that to kind of give her a little more hope in it. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And Meme-chan, she's very astute when it comes to everything. She's like, wait a minute. She likes her, and she also likes him. Oh my god,
I
I'm gonna throw up.
I was so weirded out at the fact that how much she was freaking out. I'm telling you, them telling us her age ruined everything for her. Cause every time I look at her, I go, "You're 26. Why are you freaking out over high schooler love drama?"
To be fair, she's 25.
She's 25. You insensitive pig.
You're making her older than what she is.
Okay, she's going on 26. And she's looking at these high schoolers like she's in high school doing some shade room drama.
She's looking at him like it's open season, going, God damn, I want some of that young meat.
I'm just I don't get it why she's freaking out over this. Just matter of fact, I mean, she's up there in age. It may be time for her to find a significant other.
You saying that she should hang it up now and that she's too old for this teen drama?
Well, no, she can still do it. It's just I'm wondering how far she's gonna push this. Because if she's an idol, she can't be in a relationship publicly. So
Yeah.
how long does she want to do this thing really? Or is she just gonna do the I thing and have a secret relationship?
Well, as long as she doesn't go for anyone that's underage, yeah, I understand that she was on that show where they were quote unquote dating, but that whole thing was a reality show anyway. It's not like she got with anyone, you know. So, but I would be curious to see what happens with her. I don't know why. It's just interesting the
Hmm.
fact that she lied about her age, but she's still, hell, guys, I'm a vlogger. I'm doing that.
Do you think that will ever become a plot point?
If it doesn't, then I say, why even make her 25?
Hmm.
Because I understand that that was her whole story and that was her whole, oh, well, I just lied about my age so I could break into YouTube, into media, blah, blah, blah. But I just wanted it. Like, if it doesn't add up to some weird kind of you lied about your age and then her whole world comes crashing down, then I would say, okay, then that's reason to tell about her age. But if it never comes to us going why we needed to know that, then I'll say it was nothing more than just a way for us to get older people to like her for some reason. I don't know.
I may be wrong about this, but I'm of the mindset that it won't be used for a future plot point just because there's really no way for another person to expose her age unless like they had her birth certificate or something super weird, or they blackmailed her mom to give her the information. Like,
the only thing I could think of is maybe a super obsessed fan. And like he becomes super crazy and is like, "You lied to me. You're not 17. You're 25."
You old hag.
Right. Because there are those people that's like, you're old now. It's like, old. 25's not that old. But it breaks the whole illusion, and then maybe the whole fact that she's a liar, so who can trust anything she says type thing. I don't.
Yeah. What else happened in this episode?
A
So
lot of drugs.
I think I missed that episode. I think I missed that episode.
It was in the episode. It was oh wait. Shit.
What did you watch this on?
What did I watch it on? I'll tell you, it wasn't a normal thing, if you know what I mean. It was a little bit of the PCNP.
I think you were watching Oshi no Coke.
Yep, that's what it was. Oshi no Coke, with the main characters Aqua, Velvet, Ruby, Snort.
Oh my god.
And Meme. I don't know. I was trying to be clever and it wasn't working.
But
what did happen in this episode?
I was gonna say with one of the things that Aqua's what did in this episode was when Kana confronted him about dressing up as the one guy, I forgot his name, Peon, I think.
Oh, right.
When she confronted him,
he did that.
When she confronted him about that, and she asked him his reason for doing it, he said that he did it because she wouldn't talk to him. I want to ask you the question: do you think he was? Because we know the real reason he did it, but also a part of me believe he was genuine when he said that. What do you think about that?
I mean, she really wasn't doing anything he said. Like, he tried to help her. She'd smack away the drink. I don't need your stinking water. I could drink my own urine. I don't need it. But I guess I think he was being genuine when he said that, because she did start cooperating, and she did the whole, anybody that gave her attention, she started getting feelings for. So I would say, yeah, it helped.
Well, because that whole thing brought about her, blushing profusely, and because I think she has the wrong idea, because with what you said, it was more of him trying to give sound advice to her and her not listening, and that's what he was getting at. But kind of took it more as like, oh, he wanted to talk to me in that type of way. So I think she got the wrong idea about it, and I don't know.
You mean somebody misunderstood something in anime? No.
Never happens.
That
never seen it, not one time.
Never, not once in a million years.
Ooh. Everybody has like telepathy. They completely understand each other. They don't have to say words. They never run away with tears in their eyes and trip over themselves in midway and
or get stuck halfway because of a cheap ass budget Wonder Egg.
Oh, I forgot about that. Or them running in place on the treadmill.
I could not believe that. I was looking at that going, she's supposed to be running away? Why does she look like that? And it like panned over just slightly to the left where it was supposed to be them talking as if she was far away, and I'm like, oh my god, they messed up that whole scene and they kept it in and didn't do shit about it.
They don't watch their own anime.
Hell no! Like the own creators of that show said, this is a piece of shit, let's just get it out.
But sir, it's like that whole trope of the scientist guy trying to warn the evil guy that the plan has failed, but they just go through with it. But sir, it's not ready. It's still in its experimental phase. I don't care. Just do it. I just watched Spider-Man today, so that was perfect. I watched the first Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that with all those movies have memes. Oh, I too myself am also that meme where
I'm something of a hoarder myself.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you can put that with anything. And then let's not forget Spider-Man 3. Just Spider-Man 3 is a meme by itself.
In general, it's just a movie. But yeah. So I guess the last thing to ask you is, where do you stand on this? If you had to pick a side of Akane x Aqua or Aqua x Kana, where do you stand? Or if you want to get super weird, like some of these anime fans were over the course of this week, Aqua x Ruby.
Those fuckers. I saw that too, because they were like, she's not really her sister because they like don't know each other. I'm like, that's still disgusting, because Ruby was like a 12-year-old with a disease in her past life, and Aqua was a full-grown adult and a doctor.
Yeah,
in a past life. It's still weird.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where even that's the thing. It's funny. Even if you don't want to go the incest route, then you go to a completely other illegal route. It's like pick your poison.
It's both weird, no matter how you look at it. You're in a past life, it was illegal. In the present life, it's illegal. There's no life where there's ever going to be illegal unless they die again and become distant from one another, and then they meet each other platonically. But that ain't ever happening. So
yeah,
get rid of that altogether, you sickos out there.
That was a thing. I hope it never becomes a thing.
I heard things, and I don't know if it's true or not. But if it is, we might have to kill this show early. That's all I'm saying.
Preparation kill. Not because of what you've done, but because of what you will be.
Yep. Because I'm just like, no way. This can't be true. But I don't know if it is. Not like I went and searched for this thing. It just kind of got spoiled for me because, some anime fans are just so good when it comes to spoilers. Anyway, if I was to pick one, like, legitimately, like, it would have to be Akane, because, I mean, she is the more interesting character, in my honest opinion. Yeah, she has a troubled past, and yeah, she definitely is fragile and emotional and that, so to speak. But Kana, I would definitely could not get past her bravado and her attitude, and she's very much a diva. So if I was to pick it, yeah, Akane and Aqua.
So
Kana is just unbearable.
Okay. So I've thought about this. I would agree with you, but for different reasons. So
okay,
this is how I look at it. And the part I disagree with you is I think Kana's more interested in Akane, but I wouldn't ship Kana and Aqua together. First and foremost is because Aqua. Here's why people ship them, or like the show trying to give you reason to ship them. Because Ruby goes on to talk about, after overlooking them talking to each other, how Aqua is starting to be more himself, meaning how he was before Ai's death around Kana. So the show was trying to give you like ship bait for these two. But the reason why I don't ship those two is because Kana's self-worth is too involved in Aqua's opinion of her. And I think it'll be really dangerous if if she got in a relationship with him and completely leaned on him, which would probably happen because she's only being motivated by Aqua currently. She joined the group because of Aqua. She started practicing to sing and be the center because of Aqua. And she got motivated on stage only because of Aqua. I think she's too self-reliant on him. I think she needs to have more agency as a character. And I don't think being in a relationship with Aqua will help. It's not even because I think Akane and Aqua are good to each other or good for each other. It's just I just think Kana and Aqua right now are bad.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I agree with that.
But I do like Kana better than Akane, but it's not a big difference, honestly, with me. So
yeah. But we all know who he should really be dating.
With what other characters are there in the show?
That pinup model with the giant boobs.
Oh, whatever her name is.
With the pink hair. I don't even know her name.
Yeah, she was in that one episode and then she just never had any relevance again.
Ruby just stared at her boobs and went, "Oh my boing."
Yeah,
that was it.
I thought we were going to do like some school thing and then we just never focus on the school again. Oh man, this anime is a little weird. QRW6 said Kana to shed that codependence for Aqua, but Akane has that too until they both develop better. Yeah, Akane has that too, but I felt like Akane had some type of agency to her character before Aqua. Don't get me wrong, Aqua definitely motivated her. I mean, he kept her alive in one moment, but it's like she was able to survive after that and do her own thing. I think Kana she is way too down on herself, and apparently Aqua's the only one who gives her any type of praise, so I just don't know how that would work. But like you said, QRW6, they both have that issue. So again, I don't really like either of them as a couple because they're not on equal footing.
Let's not forget that Akane can literally become I. So Aqua would immediately fall in love with her.
And that's pretty weird. I'm going to be your mom.
It is weird, but she don't know that. But
that is true. On her side, it's not weird, but on Aqua's, yeah, turn it to mommy.
Turn it. Oh my. Yeah, you're gonna be my mom.
He just turns into Homelander.
Oh my god.
He has the blonde hair. Hold on.
Yeah, I so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get in relationships like this, guys. If there's one thing that you want to take away from this. Oh, what's good, Vash? How you living? We're currently talking about Oshi no Ko, as you can see. We're kind of in the tail end of it. QRW6 said they both for now will need Aqua, but later have to show their value to the story besides needing Aqua. And then too, we talked about most of this on the perspective of those characters, the girls, but how about from Aqua's side? Because from Aqua's side, he doesn't really show any romantic interest to anybody. The only one he's slightly shown that towards was Akane, and that's because of the whole eye thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, Aqua's kind of like Lelouch in a way, where he just has his goals in mind.
It's a good point.
He doesn't have time for women, and they just kind of get put to the side.
Yeah, he's focused on the grind set. Goals over girls.
Yeah.
Vash says still need to watch the last 3 to 4 episodes, but Akane met girl. Yeah, I don't think I have a favorite girl in this series. I guess Ruby. Ruby is my favorite.
The random girl on the right.
Random girl on the right. I mean, there was a random girl in the episode that wanted to see them perform. I wonder what happened to her.
I want to know more about mysterious, inquisitive girl.
Yeah, what happened to side character 64? What is this name? Asoni? Said, I do not know what ship is sailed, but I'm in a ship where Goro, Hunt, Aqua, and SM ways. What does this mean?
I don't know what that means. Maybe we should be afraid.
I'm afraid already. I'm shaking.
In SM ways? Sexual, masculine ways? Is that what?
I'm assuming he means like BDSM, like submissive masochist.
And if that's the case,
or sadist masochist.
I'm gonna turn the other way now.
Do your thing. Make sure it's consensual and have fun. Use safe words.
Yes, everybody can get by in life with safe words.
Mm-hmm. And Light goes on to say, if Aqua showed interest, would he be comparable to Rudy from Tensei? Yes, he would be comparable in that way, but I think I'll just speak on myself. I kind of changed my opinion on it based on what happened with this show, because he talked about how he felt like his life was overwritten with him being reborn, and how he's kind of, and I mean he is reborn, so I've kind of changed my opinion on that when it came to Rudy, because I was really hard on Rudy because of him being a grown ass man. And don't get me wrong, I still am, because there's this weird aspect of him having him trying to manipulate women using his grown experience. So that's still odd to me. Don't get me wrong on that. It's just that if Aqua were to actually pursue a relationship with one of these characters, I would be way less weirded out by it than I would a year ago.
Also, I think in comparison, Aqua isn't a fucking perv like Rudy is.
Okay.
Like Rudy is a complete perv.
Yeah, Rudy is a complete degenerate, but not in defense of Rudy, but kind of to condemn Aqua, he, even in his past life, he was talking about wanting to marry I.
Yeah, she was what, 16 or something?
Yeah, so he still has that creepy tag on him, so he's still not safe, honestly.
I mean, when you put it that way, he may actually be worse. He wanted to marry a 16-year-old girl, then became his mom. Ruby did nothing wrong.
This whole show is weird now to think about it. Ruby died as like a 12-year-old girl, 14-year-old girl, something like that. And then when she got reborn, she got breastfed and was, of course, since she has like an older mind, was like flexing on Aqua.
Right. She was like, I'm drinking my mother's milk.
Yeah, I'm drinking. It's my favorite idol, baby.
So disgusting.
Let's stop talking about this show.
I was gonna say we keep talking about the show. The more we start to kind of,
because it's the weird thing about it is we've been like talking shit a lot about it. I still think this is a good show. I think if you put a gun to my head and you ask me what's the rating on Oshi no Ko, give it to me. I'll probably give this show like a 7.5 to an 8, something like that. I would say it's a good show, definitely above average. Had fun with it, appreciate a lot of different aspects of it. Definitely way more good than bad. Mm-hmm. But it's just my opinions on it differ so much from the general opinion of it. We'll talk more about that in the award show itself. But yeah, I still think it's a good show. It's just that it's weird that in a vacuum, episode to episode, it's not that much I actually like. It's sometimes I really like the concepts that go into this show, and it's criticisms on the industry, but whenever it gets to certain spots, what like with the romance or we're hyper focused on characters I don't really necessarily care about, then I'm kind of down on the show. So, but overall, I still think this is a good show.
Yeah, I I really loved the first episode, and I think every episode after that couldn't live up to the first episode, which was just amazing. I think it peaked at that point.
Hmm.
That's not to say the rest of the series was bad. It just, you couldn't compare it at all. The only time where it even came close was the episode with Akane, and
Hmm.
that was a really good one too. So I feel the same. I'd probably give it a 7, maybe a 7.5, just because the first episode alone. But I would say 7.
Shark the plug in the chat says season 2 announced. Would y'all keep up with it? I don't know how do you feel about this, EA? I feel like we would probably have to talk about the season 2 just to see
Yeah,
where the story goes.
yeah, I'll talk about it, but at that point, we'll uh, we'll see if we kill or pass this show, because who knows what's gonna happen from now on. Because to be honest, what do we have going for the show? We have Aqua trying to find his mother's killer.
I gotta find out who killed my mom.
And also the love triangle bull. That's literally what's going on in this show. And
Hmm.
if I'm to assume anything in season 2, it's gonna probably focus more on the love triangle. Let's be honest, because it's setting us up for that live play that they're going to be doing. And watch, they're going to have electricity going off their eyes, just like last time. Like, oh no.
Well, I'm willing to see where it goes. If it does continue with the romance aspect of it, I probably aren't. I'm not going to enjoy it. But again, I'm willing to see where it goes. See if it
Eh,
brings back some of the qualities that I liked about it. But that remains to be seen. QRW6
mhm.
says Aqua is having a battle in his head. The way he views Ah between the girl he worships and the girl that is his mom. He's still wondering how he views Ah. That is true. Maybe he can see or come to the decision after seeing Akane act more like Ah, or maybe even Ruby as she continues to ascend, being an idol, and because she, she's copying Ah's moves and stuff like that. So, yeah. But I think that's pretty much all we had to say about Oshi no Ko. Um, good show to watch for the season. Strong first episodes. UNC loved that first episode. It hit the streets like crack. Everybody loved that first episode. I think overall, it was definitely a highlight in this season. It definitely made this season a lot better.
Yep,
Season 2,
it was solid.
we will be there. But now it is time to talk about different show, a show that I personally love. A show that I'm excited to talk about. Insomniacs After School. General general opinions on the last episode.
Well, here is my general opinion of the last episode.
Quack quack.
No, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I think that I can honestly say that this is up there with some of my favorite romantic animes.
It's high praise.
It it is very high praise. I think this last episode kind of sealed the deal for me, because it was focusing. It wasn't chaotic. It wasn't, the parents searching them. They were going to stop them in the middle of the kiss or whatever they were doing. No, it was, they experienced their love first, and then the consequences come later. And I thought it was really, really sweet. And then we got old Gonta, you know, telling her his feelings, his true feelings about how he loves old Matt Migger. Oh my god.
Marguerite.
Thank you. I was thinking Miggery, but I'm like, that's not it. Marguerite. And yeah, overall it was just it was pretty solid. I think it goes to what you've said this whole season, where pretty much it just feels really natural, and it's really nice to see a romantic anime be this way, because when it comes to romantic animes, I either really like them or I really hate them.
Hmm.
And I think that's because of the idea of what a romantic anime is they suffer from their own faults, which is all the cliches and all the stereotypical stuff that you come to realize in that stuff when it comes to those animes. And I personally used to always stay away from them until I came across a few that changed my opinion about it, like Effatel Memories and a few other ones that I can't think of right off the top of my head. But that one I always remembered, and I think this now will be one that I will always remember too, just because of how unique and how different it is. Because it's when I first saw this show, I was thinking it was going to be nothing more than a gimmicky. Oh, we love the stars. It's the constant. To be honest, it's kind of the opposite. It's more focused on them and less about the stars and all that. Because usually it's the other way around, where
Hmm.
they'll talk about constellations, they'll talk about uh, all this boring nerd stuff that no one cares about. But again, it's in the show, so they have to talk about it. And then they'll focus on the romance. But no, it's heavy on the romance. And I think that's what separates it from others. And I know the word underrated gets thrown around a lot lately. This is a show that's definitely underrated.
I would agree. Vash in the chat says the NyQuil deterrent because we stay wide awake for this masterpiece. I always say whenever my whole tagline for this series, every time I tweet about it or I'll write about it on Discord, the last thing I always say is "Don't sleep" in all caps on it. Feel like that's like the perfect tagline on it because, of course, it falls in the theme of the Insomniac thing of it, but I say don't sleep just because of the reasons you said as well. Because don't sleep as in don't don't miss out on this show. Don't because I agree with you. I think it's underrated and not popular enough for my liking.
Yeah, because people this season were talking about another romantic anime, and I didn't think it was nearly as good.
You
And that
might be talking about Skip and Loafer or
no, not that one. It's the Dangers in My Heart.
oh,
That's the
okay.
one.
Okay.
That one I saw 2 episodes and I was like, I know where this is going already. So I immediately stopped. She's a tall girl and he's a short guy, and I'm like, okay, going.
To
This
be
is
to be fair with that anime, a lot of people were not liking it when it first started, and then people gradually liked it more and more and more. I never watched it myself, so I can't speak on it, but
really. So
apparently it
I
got a
guess I
lot
dropped it
better.
at the wrong time. Oops.
Yeah, if because I think somebody in my server Choco posted like a graph of the statistic, like the my anime list statistics of it, and gradually over the course of the season, the score kept going up and up and up. I think it went from like a 6 point something to the score it sits at now, which is an 8 point something. So two scores.
Kidding me.
Yeah.
It went that high?
Yep.
Wow. I thought for for some reason I thought people liked it automatically. That just shows you what I know about people's likes and dislikes about things because I had no idea. I just assumed people liked it from the get go. But wow,
Yeah.
that might be something I have to reassess.
Insomniacs kind of just stayed. Its score got higher uh, over the course of these episodes, but it didn't really move that far. Honestly, it was kind of steady, flatline. But I think it warrants. I think it's one of the best shows of this season. Honestly, this episode
Better than Maid Cafe.
well, I won't spoil too much on that because it's going to spoil some awards. But
okay.
I think I don't know. This show is just. We talked about it extensively. It is a true romance series in that it's devoid of the gimmicks, like you said. It's devoid of a lot of the tropes and things that may bother you. You talked about how the parents weren't really involved in this episode. You saw the consequences, but they didn't try to dramatize things to extend things, because you could have easily used that as a moment to give us or keep us from what we wanted, which was what we got in this episode. You could have easily had the parents find the kids and stop them mid-sentence of him about to confess. How many shows do you know would have done that? Like a lot of them.
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
So many.
It's just an easy way to stir up drama, extend the series, and keep you away from the thing that the fans are craving. Like, think about, you know what? I'm not even going to get on that show. I'm not going to get on that show. It's so easy. It's so easy. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Type it in the chat to me. I won't say that.
You should know what show it is. I'll type it, but
is it something about girlfriends and how you're renting them?
Maybe. Maybe I won't elaborate any further.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just an easy. You're prime to have those moments where you're denied of moments like this where characters are actually confessing to each other outright and there's no misunderstanding about it. Because another thing about it is sometimes you get those confessions, but one person is asleep. I mean, because this happened.
Fireworks are going off.
That too. They don't hear them for whatever reason. I mean, that happened. I like the show, but it happened in My Dress Up Darling, where we're all happy because Maureen confesses to Gojo, but Gojo, of course, is asleep. So it's one of those things to where they're having their cake and they're eating it too, because they're giving the fans something that they like, but at the same time, they do it at the expense of the progression of the relationship and the story at large when it's a romance series. With the progression of a romance series is measured by how far the relationship goes. So if it's stagnated, in which characters don't understand fully how they feel about each other, they're unsure, they're standing in a relationship, no progression has been made. And that's been the bane of the existence of so many romance or rom-com series. But here, we are never just putting things on a shelf and going, I'll give you the confession 100 chapters for now. You guys don't need it. Let's just insert some drama here to keep you on your toes, to excuse why I don't have these characters getting together. And that's how it is. This show is super straightforward and is so refreshing. You just don't get characters who confess at the end of a season. And not only was it like, we got the confession, it felt natural. It didn't feel like this was rushed or anything.
Right. Like, we got glimpses of it throughout the whole season of them embracing each other, holding each other's hands, heck, even kissing. So, usually the way that it would work in most romantic animes is you would get the I love you confession at the very end. And there's a 50-50 chance where it would either be in front of the character's face, or it would be, as you said, them asleep, or they couldn't hear him, or something dumb like that, just to prolong it.
Yeah.
So it was just really nice just to see that progression throughout the series of teens doing teen things.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, that is the thing that I like the most about the series, is that I didn't believe, or should I say, I didn't not believe for 1 second that that's something a teenager wouldn't do. Of course, a teenager would be embarrassed like that. Of course, a teenager would, they would touch feet, be shocked, and then put it right back on because they like each other. It's obvious they like each other. It's not a, oh, I don't like you, or no, they know their feelings. They know, and they're true to those feelings, and they don't try to hide them, because what would be the point? Just to sell more chapters?
Yeah. And before I go, because there's like this bigger point I want to go on, but I want to read some of the chat before because it's going to be kind of long. Shark the Plus says this was a great watch. Had to read it too. Y'all favorite season 1 character? I feel like me and EA would like the same character. My favorite character would be Marguerite, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, she's great.
I really like the sister as well. So, but I wouldn't say she's my favorite based on just what happens here. The Vag goes on to say, so far this relationship between Ganta and Isaki feels the most grounded in reality for a rom-com I've seen in a long time. Mind you, I'm only on episode 5, so not entirely finished, but we'll be caught up before the weekends. You'll really enjoy it. That's the aspects that we're gushing on the most, that it just feels realistic and it doesn't tease you like these other romance series where they'll get somewhere, but it's by the end of it. And here's the bigger point I want to talk about. Because a lot of romance series, especially when we're dealing with characters that are in high school, choose to go the route of it's ending with the characters either kissing or just getting together plainly. And to me, that's always been, I feel like that's always been a bad way to go about a romance series, because there's more to a relationship than just getting together initially. Yeah, ending it with a kiss or just getting with them initially, because there's ups and downs in a relationship. A real relationship doesn't start when it actually starts, or that's not the interesting part of it. The interesting part of it is how you interact with each other after being in a relationship. How do you go about, possibly living with each other, coexisting as far as, like sharing bathrooms or stuff like that, and a lot of romance series don't go that extra mile of actually showing you what a relationship is. It's always this fairy tale-esque kiss at the end, time skip, they're married, they're happy together, they never had any issues, never.
That happens so much.
Yeah.
One of these days, and I don't know if it's happened before, at least I haven't looked into it all that much, I would like to see one where it shows the whole life expectancy of a relationship, where it's they get together, they grow old, or they don't grow old. There could be one where they get a divorce or they break up. I don't think I've even seen animes where they break up. Have you?
I have a series for you, not an anime, and this is the reason why I love the series, and I think it's one of the best girls' love series that I've read. It's a series called How to Be Relationship. And
I have that saved.
Yeah, when I tell you that author goes into the ugly side of relationships, it doesn't go like, we're not talking about like abusive or anything like that. But when you talk about breakups, that happens in the show. When you talk about getting back with exes, that happens actually. And I think that's interesting because that's more in tune with a realistic perspective of relationships, because as we've been talking about, everything isn't daijobu. Everything isn't okay. Everything doesn't just work out and it's just good all the times. It's interesting because there are ups and downs, and because you're dealing with people that are different, having to share more space with each other, and it just a lot of series don't go that effort of showing you everything in a relationship. And to me, I'm of the belief that it happens because, for one, authors just feel like they don't have to, and I also feel like they don't have enough confidence to do that. It's hard to show ugly sides of relationship while also making those characters likable. You know?
Yeah, that's very true.
You can do it, but it's not the most flattering thing you could do for your characters. It can turn a lot of people off. It's real easy to just make it to where like everybody likes them. They got together and no issues whatsoever.
Also, I just feel like that's something that a lot of mangakas like to do, just to, I don't know, the happy ending sells better than actually seeing the struggle, actually seeing the moments of where you gotta work together. Yeah.
Vash in the chat says a lot of romance series these days focus more on having unique and sometimes flat out bizarre premise and character dynamics between the leads. Yeah, I agree with that, Vash, and that's something.
Yeah.
When I'm going to make a video talking about Insomniacs After School, kind of as like a hype thing, but that's one of the points I'm going to bring about. I feel like the romance genre has gotten similar to the isekai genre, where everybody now has to be super unique in their premise, or they feel like they won't get nobody will read their series. And I mean unique in bizarre, gimmicky ways. Like I talked about the one girl who was built like a titan because she was that tall, or it's weird stuff like that, where this has nothing to do with the actual romance. It's just a way to get their foot in the door.
Right. Remember that one weird show, Mystery Girlfriend X? Where
somebody in my server loves that show, Mysterious Girlfriend X.
It's fucking weird. It's just about a girl that drools, and that's the fucking show. And then the guy, for some reason, saw that she drooled on her desk and was like, "Ooh!" Actually took his finger and put it in his mouth. I'm like, this is the whole show? This is their romance? Are you fucking kidding me? This is stupid.
I will never watch that show, but I've seen gifs of it because of the person in my server.
Only watched the first episode, and that's all I needed.
Oh man!
Because the guy was, Sasuke, I know you. You're of sound mind.
Yep.
I don't know anyone in their right mind that would just be like, "Huh, there's a bunch of drool on this desk. Well, let me just go ahead and take my old index finger, swipe up some of that saliva, and put it in my mouth."
I don't even like this imagery.
You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, that's the gimmick that I'm talking about when it comes to like romance. And it's not just romance. Any anime can have a gimmick. I understand that, but it's just, I feel like romance. That's why I really don't watch it all that much, unless people say you gotta watch this, and then I'll take a chance and I'll watch it.
Yeah.
So
with some of these things, it's hard to take a leap on it because you're wondering how far is there going to be actual progression? Am I wasting my time? Because a lot of these romance series can have a strong start, but then you start to see it stagnate, and that's also why I started reading Insomniacs After School after a certain point. It was because I enjoyed it thoroughly, but I also wanted to see exactly where they went, because I was scared that things could possibly just not move anywhere. And I was pleasantly surprised. And once I read up to a certain point, I was like, yeah, guys, we're going to love this show. And I'm happy that it got to this point where it ends with the confession and the aftermath of everything, because this show wrapped up things so well. It didn't follow the manga exactly as far as the ending of it, because in the manga, it's not really a crazy spoiler. Like, you actually see the parents, and you actually see the parents take away Marguerite after their whole escapade. So,
oh really?
Yeah,
That's what I was expecting to see happen.
yeah. There's this moment
Huh.
where Marguerite, like, they put her in the car and she opens the door to the car, like, and then runs towards Ganta and says something to him and goes back, and it's a little more dramatic, but again, that's after they did everything they did, so it wasn't like it interrupted anything.
Hmm.
Because with the anime, they just give you exposition with the two friends, so that was a different change. But I think it worked better as a conclusion for the anime, because I feel like if they just followed what the manga did beat for beat, it would have ended at a weird spot, and they chose to just wrap it up better, which I think was the better decision.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes some things translate better as an anime or a show versus while you're then reading it.
yeah, I mean, because what they did with the anime is they basically gave you this kind of recap of all of their moments together, which I thought was pretty cool, and they did it in a way that still fit the show, because Marguerite is doing this on her radio thing and Ganta's listening in. So,
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure that didn't happen in the manga either, but again, creative way to uh within the story and within the character's agency give you a recap and kind of pad out the episode a little, but also doing it in a way that made it seem realistic, because I can see a newly foreign couple kind of going over their moments of how they met and how they progressed. It made a lot of sense. Vash says, um, and it feels like a double-edged sword, because the interest can either spike or grow higher as time goes on, or fizzle out completely. But Insomniac shows the beauty of the ordinary, as well as how a budding love is actually like in real life. I dropped Mysterious Girlfriend X with the swiftness, never look back. Yeah, that's Josh's show, by the way, Vash. Vash is in my service, so he knows Josh. That's Josh's show. And we all gave him shit for liking that show. But this show has always been good vibes. I've talked about we talked about the realistic thing, realistic designs, realistic ways to go about a relationship. And realistic doesn't always mean better, but in this case, in this genre, it's refreshing. It's more unique than having a 12-meter girl get with a normal sized boy. And that may sound weird, but yeah, it's more unique than even that, because the uniqueness comes in it staying the course of just being a good romance series, because now it's standing in concert with a lot of the great romance series. I don't know what you would like. I know you said Elf, A Tale of Memories is one of your romance series that you like, but
Yeah.
I think the show is one of the best in the business.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple other ones I can't think right off the top of my head that I would say that I like. My love story is pretty good because by episode 3 they're together and the whole series is them dating. I mean, mind you, it's not the typical, up and down relationship or whatever, but
Mhm.
I was at least like happy that they were together by like episode 3, and I think it was like 4 episodes. God, it's been years since I've seen it. I you know how animes the first time you watch them and then
Yep.
you watch them again, you don't know if they hold up. I mean, I haven't watched it in years, so I couldn't tell you if it holds up or not. But that's another one. There was another one. I can't remember. It has a unique name, but it was also pretty good too. But when I find it, I'll show you. But
Okay.
there's this one, Insomniacs After School, is definitely one that I'll remember and I would suggest to anybody. And I know I always bring this up when I say it because everybody likes to say Toradora is the go when it comes to romance and everything. But to me, Toradora is that anime that has all those same problems that other romance does. And maybe they've done it better, and maybe they were the originators of it, and that's why everybody likes to copy that. But for me personally, and it also doesn't help that Taiga is an insufferable little brat. So it's just like you can't root for somebody that's so hated. But overall, when it comes to some of the best I know, they're always put up there. But to me, yeah, Insomniacs After School is one that I don't know if I'd put it number one yet, but it's definitely top 5.
Yeah. I think, Vaj said it's crazy that the series you're using as an example is one of the few that's been able to maintain my interest since chapter 1. I'm pretty sure he's talking about my love story right there. But yeah, I mean, I think my favorite one would probably be Spice and Wolf. But top 5, I think it's a lot of romance series I've read and watched. One of my favorite that I read, I told you about, was Futari no Ashita. That's one of my favorite because it's focusing on an already established couple that lives together and is super cute, super short.
Yeah, I need to read that too.
But in terms of anime, I think Insomniacs After School is probably easily top 5, honestly. And the reason I say that too is because there's some series with romantic elements that aren't necessarily romance. So it's hard to find a pure romance series that is as good as Insomniacs.
True. Very true.
Oh, Vaj said, no, I meant Tall Girl manga. Okay. I don't know the name of that. Yeah, it's the manga that I keep using as an example when I talk about like the gimmicky shows of the girl being like 2 meter, like 500 meters tall. There is some show like that where she's built like a titan or whatever, but I've never I never read it or watched it if it's an anime for myself. I just use it as an example of like series kind of doing crazy things to get people's attention. Not really talk about the quality. So if it sounded like I'm bashing on the quality of it, I've never read it, so can't speak much on it. But yeah, Insomniacs, great show. Glad I picked it. It was not necessarily a shot in the dark. I would say a shot with a flashlight on my hip. Like, I was able to see that the manga readers really enjoyed it, but I still didn't know what the anime was going to do as far as it being accurate. And I didn't know the story. I was just going off of how fans of the source material felt about it. But I seen the score, read the synopsis, thought it was interesting, thought the character designs weren't crazy, which may translate it into being a little more normal. And it worked out for the best. This is one of my favorite shows in general.
Wow. Sasuke has done it again.
One day we just got to go over the misses and the makes that we've picked. Oh man.
Well, that would be my list would be super high with misses.
Maybe it would be more fun if we did like the quality of misses. Because
true.
I think okay, so one of the worst shows I picked was Akane Sasei Shoujo. And then I think one of the worst ones you may have picked was Rerod D. Did you pick that?
God. Yes, I did. That was really bad.
What's one of the worst ones C picked?
Did he pick Sunny Boy?
I don't know. I feel like if he did, Sunny Boy would be the best out of what we've picked. Because Akane Shoujo was really bad. And we dropped as soon as we could. Oh man. But that's it for the shows of this season. Now it is time to get into the King of Anime Award show. All right. Now, I said this at the beginning of the stream, but for anybody who may have just popped in, we're doing the awards a little differently than than what we would have done last week because it's just me and EA, so we don't have enough people to debate and actually crown a winner. So what we're going to do is just give our nominations, talk about why we nominated them, and I guess we'll ask the chat what they would nominate in the category. And it doesn't have to be what we watched this season, just what you watched this season. All right. So,
All right.
The first award of tonight is the Waifu Award, the best written female character. As the name implies, who do you believe is the best female character out of everything you watched? Who tickles your pickle? And not in that way.
I would say rephrase that, please.
I guess we could trade off of who goes first and whatnot.
Sure.
So if you want to go first for this one.
Yeah, I'll go first. I gotta give it to Akane.
Akane from Oshi no Ko.
Yeah. I thought she was. What made her really good was just her arc in general through, I guess, the ups and downs and the ugly side of social media and just how blatantly real that can be and how it can take an effect on people. And I feel as if she was just perfect in that regards. And it's sad and it's despicable, but it's real life. And she definitely had a second chance at life. And not everybody gets a second chance whenever they're faced with that sort of situation. And, you know, you can either continue to fall down that spiral of depression, or you can get back out of it and keep on trucking. And I feel as if that's what she did.
Get back out of it and turn into a psychopath. And method act some dead person.
I mean, at least she didn't get too psycho yet.
It's all fun and games until she says, I'm your mom, Aqua.
But I would feel like the second choice for me would be Megumin. Just because it's Megumin.
Okay. I think you want to read the chat, EA.
Oh God. Maybe I don't. Okay, I win. Akanes are always goated, no matter the series. Salute to EA for impeccable taste. Matsuri, bad. ASL.
Bad
and
as
Ironhide
hell.
from... Oh, okay. Bad as hell, that's what that is. And Ironhide from Vinland Saga giving C crave throughout the series.
Would that be your pick, QRW6, or are you just wondering why EA didn't pick her? I mean, I'll just go over mine. So mine is Isaki Magari from Insomniacs After School. Kind of obvious. Really like this character. I don't want to go too far on it since Vash isn't totally caught up with Insomniacs After School. But given her backstory and what she's all about, for a character to put on a brave face that she's been putting on, despite what's going on with her, she's a positive influence. We saw the progression Gonta went through, or the transformation he's going through with her influence. She really got him out of a dark hole, because it's not like he was depressed or anything necessarily, but he had some underlying just trauma with him being an insomniac. And overall, he was letting that affect his relationships with everybody else. He only really had one friend who he could come to. And thanks to Magari, not only could he go to her, but he also, not saying he's exactly friends with them all, but he made cool with all of Magari's friends, and he just became more sociable, found him a goal. And again, that's something that I feel like I can attribute to Magari and her influence. So She's my ball of sunshine. I think that is Mei Weifu of the spring season. Oh, okay. Okay, so Arnhide is QRW6's pick. I mean, Arnhide is a very great pick. Very great pick. She went through a lot.
Poor her. It's a shame.
QRW6 goes on to say, but outside the KOA lineup, it would be Kosen Tosu from my home hero. She's a ride or die. I had to read that. I don't want to watch it. I want to read it.
I think that's the main character's wife. If I remember. I haven't watched it. I only read, I forget how many chapters. But I definitely read it, and it would have been as long as the first episode if they followed it to the T. But she's definitely, if it's who I think it is, she's definitely a ride or die.
Yeah, I'll read it eventually. I just don't know exactly when. But that is our nominees for best waifu. Again, we're not picking the winners. We're just going over who we picked and why we picked them. So, who is this character? I can't even. Ray Liana McMillan from the reason why. What?
Ray.
This is long ass name. The reason why Ray Liana ended up at the Duke's mansion. Adaptation from Moana. Yes, read it. She's a good wife. Got you. Next award though, to stand alone with the Waifu Award, we have the Best Husbando Award, Best Written Male Character that we've seen in this season. So, since we're doing the trade-off thing, I'll give mine. I had to think about this one more so than I did with the Waifu one, because it's always the guys that when we pick them for the season, it's like, are there any great dudes from this season out of what we watched? And I think I found mine. I was surprised that I picked them, but here we go. My pick for Husbando of the spring season 2020 or 2023 is Aquamarine.
What?
Yeah, it's weird because I don't necessarily. He's not my favorite character in Oshi no Ko, but I still think he's the best written character in that series, other than I, honestly. Because I thought about how the story moves and what I'm actually interested with Oshi no Ko, and I'm interested in the revenge plot, and I think how he has to, or the person he's became, hiding his feelings and being this almost ball of malice that's goal oriented and willing to do whatever it takes to find out information about his mom. I think that's interesting, how obsessive he is over it. Yeah, I think he's the most interesting male character that I've seen of this season. I thought about Ganta briefly, but I just don't think he's as well written as Aqua, or what I've seen of Aqua. But what about you, yeah?
I gotta go with my man Bukuroki. Do you know who he is?
I don't.
He's the perverted guy from Konosuba.
What?
I'm kidding. I'm so not picking him.
What? I was like, at least just give Gonta like a courtesy one over that guy.
No, for me, it's definitely Gonta. The man has gone through so much. We got to see his backstory of why he is an insomniac, and the man has abandonment issues. I love how genuine the love between him and Magari is, and just the love between them. The whole arc where he was trying to get funding, or I think that's what it was, trying to get funding for the astronomy club, and then it started raining. Then he got real emotional and ran out.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely, I would say, probably the peak with him, and it showed he's vulnerable and that sometimes he'll let things get to him. He doesn't bottle it all in like most people because, you know, it's eventually going to come out if you keep bottling it in. But
Mm-hmm.
I would say that this guy was great. He's got a great story, and you can't help but root for him. You can't help but root for the guy. If I was to pick someone else, I'd probably pick uh, your nephew from Demon Slayer.
Tanjiro. Your mic got a little staticky, EA, just to let you know.
I hate it.
Vash says Sosuke from Skip and Loafer would be my pick. I still have to read that series or watch it. And QRW6 says Anar from Vinland Saga for me, but outside the lineup is
Man.
Tetsuo from my home hero again. Dude went through a lot.
I forgot about Vinland, but yeah, I would also have to freaking consider pretty much all the guys from that from that series as well. Definitely Thorfinn.
Yeah. The reason I didn't pick any characters from Vinland is just because I always feel weird.
Them?
Oh yeah, I hate them. Fuck Viking. Fuck all those Vikings. Fuck all the slaves involved. Fuck all the slave traders. I hate everybody in that series. But besides my burning hatred for everybody in Vinland Saga, I just didn't want to pick from a series that that bleeds into another season, because I kind of gave Vinland his props last season, so I always feel weird when it's a 24 episode show and then I'm regurgitating some of the characters or some of the awards that I've nominated from last season. So that's why I didn't pick Thorfinn or Omar or Anar, but I understand picking them. Makes sense. Sony says best husbando is Asami from Heavily Delusion. Asami is the one-eyed doc. I don't think either. Well, Heavily Delusion. No, I don't think either me or EA saw this. I know that was a very. I kept seeing people talk about that show on my timeline, but we haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But that is that for that award. The next award is the one that got away. So this award is basically the show that we wish we would have watched instead of, or it doesn't even have to be in a place or something, just something that we wish that we watched on the show that we may have experienced outside of the podcast. So EA, do you have a show like that?
I didn't watch many other ones. There were some that I heard got more praise than others. There was one called Masho, where it was like magic and muscle combined into one. It was an A1 Studio One.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that it looked like it could have been fun. It's some goofy type of action fantasy type thing, and I mean, I'm always a fan of that genre. It looked pretty fun. Another one that I heard was really good was Skipping Loaf or whatever. That one I would definitely want to watch. And I did watch a couple of it, but it doesn't look like it got better as the time went on. But I wanted to give this show. I did watch the first 2 episodes, and it was just okay. It was called A Galaxy Next Door. It was. I always have to give shows a shot when it's about adults, and this is the one where it's about adults. This girl, she's from another galaxy. Somehow they magically become married or something, and I'm like, oh no. Like, it started off decent, it started off fine because it was about this guy who had 2 kids and the wife passed away and everything, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna have one of these where it's about, maybe a new mother coming into a relationship and kind of that whole experience. And then they just kind of ruined it with the whole, oh, you touched this thing on my wrist, so now we're married. I'm like, oh my god, no. No, you had something and then you ruined it. So it doesn't look like it got better from what I could see from the ratings. So I if anything, we could have gotten fun with the mushroom and we could have done another slice of life with the skip and loaf. So either one of those would have been fine.
Okay. I respect it. The next award though, and guys, you can also talk about maybe some shows that you didn't watch, maybe that even we covered that you guys didn't watch that you kind of are interested in if you want to talk about that. But the next award is and this is more of like a dishonor, the most disappointing series that you watched this season.
I mean, I kind of already said it. That Galaxy Next Door one was pretty disappointing. Um, Other than that, I didn't really hate that many episodes or any shows. Oshinoko was fine. Demon Slayer was fine, even though, to be honest, it was nothing more than just a showcase of what the Hashira can do. And yeah, there wasn't really anything that disappointed me because I wasn't really expecting like a whole lot or whatever. So yeah, I'd still stick with mine, The Galaxy Next Door.
So mine is going to be weird because I didn't actually watch this show. Because I'm kind of with you because I'm not really disappointed in anything we watch. I'm not really disappointed in the Oshinoko, Insomniacs, Vinland, or the Mega Meat anime. I got sort of what I expected, or at least there wasn't a bit discrepancy in what I expected versus what I got. But the show I'm choosing for the most disappointing is My Home Hero. Just because I've seen how glowingly people talk about the manga. I have a couple of people on my server who read it and they talk about it from time to time. And once the anime came out, I was close to watching the anime, but the first episode dropped and people hated it. And it kind of deterred me from watching it because it was going to be one of those shows that I watched outside the podcast. But because of how people talked about it, I decided maybe I shouldn't go to the anime. Maybe I should just stick with the manga. So this is a weird one because usually it's something I always have watched at least a little bit of. But I'll say more, this is disappointing just in, I guess, by proxy, the fans' expectations being let down in contrast to the manga's quality. So most disappointing, My Home Hero. But again, most disappointed doesn't necessarily mean bad. Keep that in mind. Moving on. The Thigh Meat Award, the most overrated show. The show that you saw people praising and you just went mid. Well, this time I'm going first.
Okay.
So it pains me to say this in the show where my nephew resides. I'm going to go Demon Slayer. I thought about this because it came down to two shows. I won't say what the other show is for fear that EA may say it, but yeah, Demon Slayer just this season I wasn't too high on this season. And what kept me from picking this as the most disappointing was that I kind of expected the season to kind of fall off a little bit as the story went on, just because I know how the manga readers felt during this time period. Because this didn't happen in my server, but servers I've been a part of, they talked about Demon Slayer having this fall off. So what we got in this season, I kind of thought it was going to happen. That's why I don't think it's disappointing. But overrated still applies because it's still, I think it may be people's least favorite season objectively of Demon Slayer, but it's still rated pretty high for what we got. I think more so than any other season, this truly is being carried by the animation and the visuals and its presentation rather than what's going on in the story, because it wasn't a lot I really look forward to with this season. I can't name you that many moments I enjoyed from this season of Demon Slayer. So I think in terms of how highly praised this season was, it just in the spirit of my anime list. That's really my assessment of how people feel about it, because I think the more hardcore anime fans would say that this isn't overrated because people for the large part didn't like it. But I think the more casual fans skew it in the favor of, hey, we love this season. And if we're talking about this, then it's not just the hardcore fans that matter, it's everybody that matters, casual or not. So I think Demon Slayer is the most overrated.
That's a pretty good one. Definitely. Well, yeah, I'm gonna pick Oshinoko.
I thought so. That's why I didn't want to say it.
Yeah. It just had one of the biggest first episodes you could possibly ask for in an anime. And I feel as if, just based off of how good the first episode was, everything else was, as I said before, nothing was ever going to peak the first episode. And I feel like this was a show that had really good animation and had very interesting characters. But overall, I almost kind of feel like this show kind of loses itself every once in a while when we get into these love triangle, square, octagons, whatever you want to call them, and it just loses itself. And I kind of wish it could have just been one beat. You could still have the whole realities behind fame and all the behind the scenes stuff. That was what some of my favorite stuff, which was that. But I feel like when you talk to people about this show, what they like most about that, it'll mostly be Akane waifu, Kana waifu. I love Ruby. It just became a waifu show, and I don't know. Like I said, I feel like it got away from itself and it became something completely different, and people are more about how pretty some of these girls are versus what the show was originally about. So I would definitely call the show overrated. Not bad, not terrible. Like I said before, I still like it. I just feel like if you ask other people about the show, that's almost immediately the first thing they'll talk about is best waifu, Kane or Akino. Who you got?
I mean, it's interesting that you say that, because another of Aka's works, Akasaka's work, is Kaguya-sama, and I love Kaguya-sama. I think it's one of the best rom-com series that I've experienced, but it's also falls in that same type of dilemma of turning into this waifu war thing where it's like, who do you like, Kaguya or Chika, or do you like interesting enough, there's another character in there named Ai as well. Who do you like, Chika, Kaguya, Ai? Which one is your favorite? And I could totally see how that's kind of draining, and how it makes the conversation around the series just feel stupid and superficial, because you're not talking about actual story stuff that makes things good. You're just talking about which character that you think looks the best more than often.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I knew the show was getting to that overrated status when we had that one episode where, they're playing baseball and throwing baseballs. And then Kana was just like, I'm so glad I got to do it with you. And I was just like, you played fucking baseball. What are you talking about?
Shark the Plus says facts that fan base crazy. You should see some of the ships. And Avash says Kaguya-sama greatest rom-com of all time. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I still had to watch the movie. It would have been an interesting show to talk about on a podcast. Me and Perry talked about it on our thing. I think we talked about season 3. I'm pretty sure that was a fun time. Akasaka the best to do it. Cap. Cap. But we'll leave it alone.
No cap.
Man, I guess if you're talking about rom-com specifically, maybe I'll buy that. But yeah. Moving on. Next award. Actually, it's one award that I didn't chime in on that I just forgot to say mine. So the one I would pick for the one that got away, my pick would be Goddess Cafe Terrence, or as me, Vash, and Choco affectionately call it, Akane Cafe Terrence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't say yours and you kept going. I was like, oh, I guess you didn't have one.
Yeah. That's a show for anybody not aware of the show. It's a harem ecchi series, but I think it's one of the more interesting ones. I won't say best, but one of the more interesting ones, purely because the MC isn't whiny, wimpy MC with no personality. He actually has a bit of a yeah, he's not whimpering in the corner like Kobeni. He has a backbone. He doesn't let the girls like walk all over him, you know, and it makes because his personality is rooted in actually having agency as a character, it makes his dynamics with those other characters that more worthwhile and interesting. Because sure, you can like the characters just because of how they look and stuff, but with the show, you fall more in love with their personality, and I think that's the mark of a good harem series. Because there's not a lot of good harem series. QQ being one of them.
QQ's probably one of the best.
I would say QQ is the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another series that banks on the personality of the characters rather than their looks, because looks are really the sell of these harem series. But I wouldn't say that's the case necessarily in Goddess Cafe Terrence. I don't know how great of a show it would have been to talk about on the podcast specifically, but I think it would have been at least fun, interesting, something a little different.
Yeah. I mean, how many boob jokes would we be talking about?
A lot. That whole thing of him, whoa, and falling into the boobs, it happens.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like some of the typical ecchi stuff still happens, but it's just the fact that the main character isn't what you're accustomed to on harem protagonists. I think it just makes everything so much better. Shard the Plus says shout out to Ichika. Yuck. Vash says
indeed.
For romance series, his pen is immaculate. Gotcha. The next award, though, moving on, is your favorite moment of the podcast or whatever you watched of the shows that we watched on the podcast. Your favorite moment in general. Favorite moment that happened in spring season. How do you feel, Leah?
It was definitely probably Vinland Saga's ending. That was so freaking satisfying. Thorfinn suffered so much. He finally got to go home. He finally got to tell his story, got to see his mom, got to see his sister. And now him and Einar are going to create Vinland. And all it did was make me so excited for the next season. It'll probably be a while before we get the next season, let's be honest, but I'm a patient man. And I absolutely cannot wait to see what's going to happen with it. So definitely, I would say Thorfinn reuniting with his family after all these years was so satisfying.
Okay. That definitely respect that. I think I'm gonna go with you and go with the Vinland Saga moment, despite what I said about not wanting to pick this show. But just because this moment I feel like I had to talk about, I would feel wrong not talking about this as a standout moment in the season. It would have to be when Thorfinn says that, when he has that moment where he's getting pressed by a fox, and they're trying, they're torturing, they're cutting his ear and giving him scars and cutting him up and yada yada yada. It's the moment where he says that, well, he basically says he has like nothing to live for and how empty he is. I think that's my favorite moment, not because that's uplifting. It's kind of the opposite of what EA's saying.
Hey, very depressing, good
Yeah.
sir.
To me, to me, why that's my favorite moment is it's the start of. It's two things. It's the start of Thorfinn's journey into changing completely as a character, because I think the phases that Thorfinn goes through is him being a kid, not knowing anything, his dad dying, him going solely after revenge and being lost in that. And then when he's a slave, he has a status where he's like in a state of limbo. He doesn't have anything to live for. He doesn't have any passion whatsoever. So I think that moment that I'm talking about is the start. It's the origin of the new Thorfinn. And I think in general, from the fans' perspective, I thought that was a good moment because it just made you look at the entirety of season 1 of Vinland, because we talked about this before, how some of like the meathead people I just want the Vikings to fight. I just want war. I just want this and this and that. That moment should have been a clue for the fans that what we got in the prologue of Vinland was never about Vikings fighting. It was more so of the futility of it and revenge in general and what it brought Thorfinn, and seeing how empty he was at that moment just made you think like, damn, he really he spent all that time in that prologue just chasing after a shadow that brought him nothing in the end. So that was my favorite moment. It was I read the manga, so it was a moment I was looking forward to seeing animated for a long time. I waited 4 years for this. Shark the Plus says Vinland Saga when Snake got the get back first episode, Oshi no Ko was interesting. But it has to be a specific moment, Shark the Plug. So what moment? Eyes Death? Was that
Yeah.
was that the thing that moved you?
Eyes Death. What?
Yeah, Aqua's gonna find you. Why do people love to see my mom die? But yeah. So if you talk about our favorite moment, of course, we got to talk about the worst moment of the spring season. So I guess I'm going first for this one. This is not even really a moment, but I just thought this would be funny to say. The worst moment of the spring season is the fact that Birdie Wing got a season 2. How the fuck did this get a season 2?
Oh, what? Did I tell you that I finally finished it?
You finished it?
Mind you, I watched the first 2 episodes and watched the last 2 episodes.
What?
And when I say watch, skim through it.
Okay. Why did you do that?
I wanted to see how it ended.
All right. Are we talking about season 2 or season 1?
Season 2. I saw all of season 1.
Jeez.
But I just skimmed through season 2 and it was so fucking stupid. Like, literally, the last episode, Purple Hair falls over, passes out, and the whole time she's like, I want to play golf with you. I want to. And I don't even know why she's sick. She could have, I don't know, had cancer or something. I have no idea. But then for some reason she like helps the blonde hair girl out. by pretending to be a caddy, and she cut her hair. And the blonde-haired girl loses still to this other golfer who's like really good, like basically Tiger Woods' daughter. And then 2 years pass, and then they said, "You made a promise to me. We're gonna play golf." I'm like, "You still on that fucking shit from the past season?" And then they play golf, and then it ends with a fucking rainbow golf ball going into the sky with the song Penis Line blasting in the background. It is the worst piece of trash I've ever seen.
Wait, so they didn't even get together? They just said let's golf?
Yeah, because Purple was apparently dying. I don't know why she passed out and then decided to all of a sudden disguise herself and cut her hair. Again, maybe if I would have watched it, I would have understood it better.
Yeah, you don't
But
understand.
I wasn't gonna do that. So I just wanted to skip through it, and that's what I did, and it was really dumb. Golf Girls was it's definitely the worst. It's my worst moment now. After reliving all that, it's now my worst moment.
I just can't imagine, because this was branded as the Yuri sports show. A lot, I won't say a lot, but I've seen a couple of things on my timeline, people praising this show and being very happy about it. And I joked, I was like, this is like the lesbian Kuroko for people, because they were really, I was like, I don't know why people like this, because it's not a good sports series. Like that's the thing about it. It's not a good sports series.
Not at all.
If it was at least a good girls love series, if it was just good with the romance, I would understand it. But it wasn't good in either of them. So I was kind of confused why people liked it so much, and I just came to the conclusion they just like it because it's girls love golf. It's Yuri golf.
Right. And to me, it's not even like Yuri. It's more Yuri bait than anything else. She always tempts the purple hair girl, saying, "If you get this shot, I'll kiss you." And then she like never kisses her. And if she does kiss her, she kisses her on her hand or a little peck on the cheek. And it's just like, that don't count.
It's one of those.
Right. And then the purple hair girl's just like, she does the pouty lip thing like, "You said you would kiss me." And she's like, "I did kiss you." It's dumb.
Yeah, I'm glad. I think the best decision was us dropping that show. I forgot exactly where we dropped it, but I think when they had rocket launchers, that was rocket launchers, grenades, snake girls with pheromones that could hypnotize people.
Right. The fact that they even had the fucking spy FBI element in a series of golf, I was like, and mind you, they don't bring it up at all in season 2, at all. It says, okay, the snake girl comes back for a cameo, but you wouldn't know if she was part of the whole FBI thing if it was mentioned or whatever. She could have just been some random person. The fact that they had this whole underground Fight Club golf circuit is just dumb, and never brought it up in season 2. So bad.
Oh my god. I still can't believe that. A rocket launcher, people were getting shot out, grenades were thrown. There was a stadium that was like an entire stadium that was changing underground. What the hell was this show?
I regret picking it. I thought it would have been kind of fun for the sports part, and then come on, the fucking intro song is catchy as hell. It sounds like Penis Line, even though it's supposed to be Venus Line, but it just made me laugh the first time I heard it. I'm like, Penis Line? Oh, hilarious! I'm a fucking 12-year-old kid.
Yeah, bad moments with golf girls or Birdie Wing. Next award is Mirai Zora. which is what you look forward to the most next season. So, what is something that we think will be good to either watch on our own or watch on a podcast for a spring 2023 season? EA, what do you look forward to?
Well, I am looking forward to the one, the only Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean that I didn't watch it religiously when it first came out. It wasn't until like there was some huge like hype behind it, then I was like, okay, I'll see what the show's all about. And I thoroughly enjoy it. It's a shonen and it has like a whole lot of mixes of all these different shonen animes all wrapped into one. And I think it's really neat. I think Mappa did a great job animating the series. I think it's fun. It's nothing, I don't know. Like it doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it's something that kids shouldn't watch because sometimes some things are just so fucked up in the show where I'm like, damn, that just happened. But season 2, where I hear some stuff really goes down, I'm looking forward to it. And I watched this the other day, and it's the polar opposite of Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's My Tiny Senpai.
I've heard about it.
It's stupid. It's nothing but just wholesome ridiculousness. It's adult, so it's in a work environment. So like I said, I'm always happy to see more adult animes come out in recent years. So I'm just particularly happy about that. But it's wholesome, it's sweet, it's she's short and she's very stacked. Let's just put it like that. And it probably won't be my favorite of the season, but I'm definitely looking forward to Jujutsu Kaisen. That's oh, and of course, that zombie one looks really fun too. What the hell was it called? Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. It's an interesting name. But yeah, the zombie one. I just love me some zombies. And a good violent zombie picture, sign me up.
Okay. We have QRW6 says, I didn't read this. Go to Kamui Fat Battle is the worst moment for me, and I want to erase that memory from my eyes. I hope that's not what it sounds like. Fat Battle?
I mean, do you mean rap battle? Is R right next to the F?
I don't think
it
that's
is
what he
very
meant.
close on the keyboard.
I don't think that's what he meant.
I hope he meant rap battle. Please.
It's Golden Kamui, so if it's Fat Battle, it's kind of consistent with what goes on in that series. A lot of naked men, a lot of dicks.
Is there a lot of dicks in that show?
Yes.
Well, that's well, NQRW just said yes, that's what I meant.
How did they determine the winner? Was it like how far it could fly? Who, like the amount? What was it? Maybe I don't want to know.
Yeah. Let's not get that answered.
Then QRW6 goes on to say JJK is going to go insane for season 2, and we'll get to your emotions. I never read this arc, heard some things, and going for the ride. Is that PPI or L? I can't really see it on my side. And Twitter wants to cancel shows with short stacks.
Oh yeah, I saw that with My Tiny Senpai. I don't understand people. It's like boobs scare anybody, but bring on all the dicks. Nobody has a problem with dicks. You know what I mean?
And then what's good, Albert? Albert says, what's good, KOA? Well, you're in the twilight of the awards. So my pick for what I would look forward to the most next season is if anybody has watched me, you should probably guess this, but it is Bungo Stray Dogs season 5. We already had season 4. Was it this year? It might have been this year. It just feels, this year feels weird because this month really, or June really threw me off. I felt like I aged 5 years in June with the move and everything.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I get it. And after what you told me about everything that happened, I do not blame you.
yeah. But Bungo Stray Dolls has gotten better every single season. It went from season 1, where when I watched it, I wasn't too high on the show. I took a big break from it to get into season 2. Got to season 2, enjoyed it. Still thought it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be in terms of the quality. Season 3 came around, and that's when I started to go, okay, this is good. Season 4 came around, and I just went, okay, this is great. This is legitimately one of the best things going on this season. And that was in the season that was really stacked. And then, because I'm pretty sure it came out the winter season. And then now we have season 5. And if it stays the course of the trajectory is going on with it being better and better and better, season 5 might be a masterpiece for all I know. And I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to talk about it with Perry next time around, because we have our own podcast talking about Bungo Stray Dogs. I don't know if we're going to do it, but if we do, yeah, we'll probably talk about it every Friday. Do what we did last time for season 4. Very great show. I would recommend it on the podcast, but it's on season 5, so at this point, it's I'm not going to ask you guys to catch up to all of that, and then you might not even like it up to that point. So it's not like one of those Attack on Titan type of series, so we can skip out on it, but I look forward to watching it.
All right.
QRW6 says Horimiya piece opening theme came out. Yeah, I'm gonna watch Horimiya piece, but I already read the manga, so I don't really need to watch it. But I'll be there for some more Hori. Hori's great.
It just sounds funny calling it Hori.
Whore. The next award is the King of Nothing Award. The X-Arm Award of Excellence. This goes out to the anime that just performed the worst. It is the bane of our existence. Is the anime that just went out there and didn't do anything for our enjoyment, at least. So EA, what do you nominate for King of Nothing?
I mean, gotta give it to Golf Girls again, right? I mean, that is the worst piece of shit. I mean, I talked about it ad nauseum, talking about how horrid and how awful it is and how unenjoyable. I think I gotta give it to Goldie Birdie Wings Season 2. And the fact that there's a Season 2 of this and not a Season 2 of any other anime that deserves it is a travesty within and of itself. So I hope wherever Golden Wings is fucking just laying down in a ditch, dying, begging for food.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's mine. The Penis Line Golf Girls Season 2.
Got it. So for this award, I'm going to cop out route. I don't think there's anything that I would choose for King of Nothing, because it's they hate me. They hate me. Oh, you stink. Fuck. It's just I don't think I watched anything bad this season. If you know, because King of Nothing means that the show is just, it's not the worst, it's bad. It's just plain bad. And I don't think that I would have to choose like the Megamine spinoff or something like that. And I don't think it deserves King of Nothing, honestly. So if I watch Golf Girls, of course I would pick that. But since I was blessed by not watching anything terrible, I'm not going to pick anything for King of Nothing. So I will leave that award vacant. I guess in a way. Oh man, why do they hate me so much? I guess in a way, this is our first award that is, since it's uncontested, it technically wins. So Golf Girls is the sole winner of the King of Anime Awards for spring 2023. Congratulations, Birdie Wing. I love you.
Yeah, congratulations at sucking.
QRW6 said I'm going with EA because I couldn't find one or ignored them all around. See, even QRW6 agrees. You know what? I'm going with marginal service due to not giving a synopsis into the first episode.
Marginal service?
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Me neither.
But yeah, Birdie Wing wins King of Nothing, the only award that we gave out this season.
Oh, here it is. All right, here's the synopsis. After being fired from his detective job, Brian receives a strange letter. He heads to the address written on the envelope and finds himself among the marginal service. This motley crew of fearless men and women and a squirrel are tasked with hunting down aliens, and Brian just became their newest member.
QRW6 said, let's just say it's Men in Black.
Everybody's wearing hard hats for some reason.
I feel like
it looks terrible.
I feel like I've seen a trailer for it, honestly, but I'm not entirely sure. But the last award for tonight is the King of Anime Spring 2023. Basically, what do we think is the best anime that we watched this season? Did I go first for the last award, or did you go first? I actually forgot.
I did with the Golf Girls, and then you picked Nothing, and we all booed.
Okay. So, my King of Anime Awards, if you haven't gotten the memo, I've been pretty transparent about this. My favorite thing of this season, and I to excuse why the other anime didn't get picked, I harken back to what I said earlier in the podcast about me not wanting to do a 2-course show because that's kind of cheating to me. I'm going with Insomniacs at the school. It would have obviously been Vinland, but of course, I think I'm pretty sure I chose that last season, or maybe I didn't, because last season was winter, so there was a lot of things I could have chose from. I might have though, because there was Attack on Titan and there was Bungo and yeah. But Insomniacs at the School, already gushed enough about this show. I think is one of the better romance series in general. It stays the course. It's very straightforward. It's refreshing. It's a heartwarming tale of two characters who share the same plight or dealing with their own traumas that bring out the best in each other. And I just like their relationship because it feels so natural. They're flirty. They bicker with each other a little bit. It's not out there in terms of it being super dramatic or sensationalized. It feels like what you would see in a real life relationship, and I appreciate it for it. Yeah, it's just good vibes all around. I had so much fun with the show. I think the anime did a phenomenal job adapting the material in the manga. Not everything was 100% accurate, but I think it did what it could to fit the show, give us a great finale, and give us consistently good episodes throughout the course of the series. Can't say much. Can't say enough. Can't praise the show enough. It was just a fun ride. But yeah, that is my king of anime. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I definitely would have picked Insomniacs if it wasn't for a show that was just a tiny bit better. Because Insomniacs is a great show. It's definitely now one of my favorites. But Vinland Saga Season 2 was the epitome of just brilliant, excellent everything. From the writing, from the character development, from the animation, just everything, the pacing, the moments that made you cry. I cried more watching this damn anime than anything I watched in a long time. One I cried over a guy I barely even knew. But it was just so well done and well executed that it just got me emotional. But yeah, this show, I think C said it best when he was still alive. Was was that this show at some point is probably going to go down as one of the greats. And I can definitely see that because of everything that they're putting into this show. And I cannot give it any more praise than I can. If anybody says, hey, should we watch this? I'd be like, oh yeah, absolutely. Vinland Saga is one of the best. Go into it with an open mind. Don't expect it to be the same as season 1. But if you enjoy it for what it is and enjoy the overall story and not just mindless violence and fan service, this is a show that will live on forever.
I agree. Again, if it wasn't for its status of bleeding out into the spring season from last season, I think this would have been an easy pick and we would have been of the same mind. I think this is one of those shows that I kind of look at in the same light with Attack on Titan in terms of it being not only a possible starter show for someone who's getting into anime, but just one of those generational shows that kind of has its own era. Like it etched out its name and when it came out in 2019, and it's quality universally. I think everybody could enjoy the show. But you guys can give us your favorite anime of this season. How did you feel about the season in totality? Did you think the season was good or worse than last? One of the better ones? What did you think about the quality of the season from your standpoint based on what you watched? Because in my bubble, for what we watched on the podcast, because I don't think I watched anything outside of it, I think this was a pretty good season. Not great, but pretty good. Not one of my favorites, but I still think it stands out with some of the shows that we watch. Insomniacs, Vinland, Oshi no Ko, the Megami spinoff, Demon Slayer. Like all of these shows are good. We didn't watch any bad shows this season, so yeah, I think it's a good season.
Amen.
QRW6 says Insomniacs for me, it would have gone to Oshi no Ko, but I had to downrate it due to the popularity going over. I see. I mean, Insomniacs is a great show. Glad that people watched it. I hope to get more people to watch it with a video I do, but who knows? We'll see. But that is it for what we have on the agenda. So, yeah, I got a question for you. Oh no, Veronica, what happened to EA?
He's not here anymore.
Oh God, what did you do with him?
He had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, I thought. Wait, did you flush him down the? What did you do to him? What did you do?
I'll never tell.
Where's Rachel?
Well, I'm not Rachel.
Who are you?
I'm your old pal, Vicky Victoria. Veronica, I mean. Sorry, I forget my name sometimes.
Shit.
EA, he's a little preoccupied at the moment.
God.
But if y'all want to know, you should follow him. He is a handsome man. I hear he's going to be reviewing some awful show here pretty soon that involves girlfriends that get rented.
Think I might be familiar with that.
Yeah, follow him on that. Give him his likes and his loves, and I'll be sure to release him from this bathroom.
Also,
Wait a minute.
guys.
No, what are you doing?
Oh.
Get away from my place.
Oh, thank
Sorry
God.
about that.
Thank God.
Yeah, I had to shoo her away. I showed her a nice shiny watch and I threw it the other way.
That's also how I distract people. I just have watches and just have a whole bunch in my pocket just for that occasion.
They come in handy, don't they?
Yeah. But to anybody that's still watching at this point, remember to like, subscribe if you aren't subscribed to the podcast. It really helps out as far as making this more noticeable on people's algorithms. So that helps out. But yeah, follow EA on his YouTubes, his Twitchies, and all of that. And be on the lookout for Rent a Girl podcast to come back. Fun time with the guys. EA, Rising Sun, Sea Tactics, maybe if he ever gets resurrected from the dead. I don't know how that whole thing works. I'm not I'm not in that culture, but who knows? They could do speak to him beyond the grave, Ouija board, something like that.
Yeah.
But as for me, you can find me on my Twitter, Sasuke the Savage, same name as my Twitch, Sasuke the Savage with a DA. You see it on the screen, you know who it is. As well as my YouTube channels, Sasuke the Savage, Sasuke the Gamer, Sasuke the Reactor. I don't really do anything on that channel. That one's kind of out of commission. But the other channels, yeah, I've been talking about getting my main channel active for a long time. With the Yumiko video I plan to do. But honestly, I've been revising that so much. So that one's probably going to take a back seat. But the Insomniacs After School video, I definitely want to put out because it's ended now. And I want to give that more attention. Hopefully that'll attract some people to the series. And yeah, follow us on our socials. We will be back next week to talk about a whole new season, the summer season 2023.
What are we going to be talking about?
I feel like it'll be best just to surprise people with what we're talking about.
I think so. Let's surprise them because I think they'll be in for a treat.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you look at the 2023 summer season, it's not a lot of big things. Yeah, I think that one is a little more barren in comparison to this season, honestly. But we'll be talking about some things. We'll try to make sure we have a full podcast, and the thing that you will be able to look forward to is Fate. We'll resume talking about that from where we left off, so that'll be the constant that you'll still get. So look forward to that. But I appreciate everybody who showed up, everybody involved in the chat, QRW6. Always happy to see you, Vash. Cool that you came through. Light Ruler, everybody who came through. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, we out. Johnny.